Hey guys, it's Adam. It's Monday, so here is your minister's moment. I really appreciated Mitch's sermon on Sunday talking about, especially that section on control, about how we like to be in control, let's face it. We don't like to let God control everything in our lives. We like to have our one little thing that we keep in control, and a lot of times we try to control things that deep down we know we can't. I woke up this morning to more rain. I could not but think of the song from my childhood, rain, rain, go away, come again another day. It's funny, I don't remember singing a song as a kid about snow, snow, go away. Maybe some of you were singing that a couple of weeks ago. I wasn't. I loved the snow. I enjoyed it. Didn't enjoy the power outages, of course, and water and all of that situation, but the snow was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Anyway, on that note, it's my understanding that in history, some governments around the world, not to name any names, but the U.S. government at some point has tried to control the weather, tried to make hurricanes disappear, dropping dry ice in the eye of the hurricane and trying to diminish it, make the waters cold or something like that. Whatever. They have tried things, and apparently it actually ended very poorly. They did that and actually shifted the direction of a hurricane that made it hit somewhere else and got sued successfully for changing the weather and sending a hurricane somewhere it wasn't going to originally go. Look it up. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what my understanding of that is. We try to control things. Yeah. It's human nature, maybe. We want to be in control. We don't want to feel out of control. And a couple of weeks ago, I think a lot of us that are control freaks had a really, really hard time because there were so many things that were out of our control. We were talking with the youth at Snap last night, kind of reflecting on the last almost year of pandemic and lockdown, everything that we've learned, and retrospectively, we have learned a lot of things we took for granted. We have learned that some things are more important than others. We have learned. We've suffered, but we have also learned. And it comes to a point where we have to recognize that there are some things in this world, in our lives, that we cannot control and that we have no control over, never will have control over. And we have to become not comfortable with that, at least accepting of that. There's a podcast that I listen to. Highly recommend it for the dads out there. It's actually called Dad Tired. It's encouraging. It gives you some advice on fatherhood and marriage and guy stuff and everything. And there was a quote that was shared recently. I actually had it on my story. As of this morning, it's still there. You might be able to find it on Facebook or on Instagram. And you can link to if you are a podcaster, if you like listening to podcasts like I do. Dad Tired is a great one for all the guys out there. Highly recommend that. Anyway, he shared a quote from one of his recent podcasts. It says, "To not pray is to silently declare that you have more power over your situation than Jesus does." Ouch. It hurt me. I decided I'd hurt you guys with it too. But how true is that? I mean, we decide, I don't need to bother Jesus with that. I don't need to bother God with that. I don't need to give that up. I can handle that myself, right? It's that control again. We just want to be in control. We don't want to ask for help. We don't want to bother anybody else. And guys, the root of that is pride. And I know this isn't, it's not just guys that are guilty of this. We're all guilty of this. We have that pride of, I can handle this myself. Why bother God with it? And that quote this morning brings me to a familiar verse that I know that we all are familiar with, but it kind of helps it, for me, look at it from a different angle. It's Philippians chapter 4 and verse 6, which says, "Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all that He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus." And let's face it, we don't pray about things because we're not at peace with them and we think we can handle them ourselves. We got to stop that, guys. We have to stop that. Pray to God about everything and anything that you're doing throughout the day that bothers you, that you're worried about, that you have to accomplish. Invite God into your life, and others will see Him working through you. Stop declaring that you have power over your situation that Jesus does not. I'm going to share that with you guys today. I hope that's encouraging to you. Love you guys. See you next week.